So hello and welcome back to the 2018 Prague Special Championships. I'm Lydia Hambach and I'm joined by my co-commentator David Hochman.
Wow, amazing. I'm going to have some fun today. We did pick a kind of different matchup this time. We have Garbodor, Golisopod.
Yeah.
So something we haven't seen yet. And then of course we have Zoroark, Golisopod, something which we have seen very often yet. There actually was a repairing, so sorry for the delay here, but we can do anything. Mistakes happen, that's it. But still, even with the repair, the delay is still kind of minimal. So yeah, we can start now.
We can go into the game. We will have another girl for you, Jolien Winkler. She's going to play against Mioslav Pashlov.
It's hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he asked me if he can use his own GX counter, and I looked at it. It was like Cyrus Initiative. Mioslav actually also plays for a long time now. I think he started like 1 year before me, so with Diamond and Pearl cards.
But he has real cards now.
Yeah, he actually has real cards. Jolien goes for Bridget. It seems like she wants to get Trubbish, and she also has the Tapu Koko promo, which has free retreat right off the bat. And yeah, the prize cards, kind of hard to see. Miloslav's very left one. It's a rainbow card.
Yeah.
So it maybe is.
It must be
I don't know.
a Tapu. No.
It could also be MioX, but
yeah.
we don't see it. I will not run there to look at it. And the card which is like a little bit on the bottom seems to be a Wimpod.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jolene's first turn, she attacks the Rainbow Energy to the Wimpod, which gets 10 damage on it. This is quite kind of funny because you can use like Acerola on it just to switch. But of course the Rainbow Energy is being played because of the Tool Drop. No, not Tool Drop. Treasure Lens Garbodor, which can also deal a lot of damage. And with the Rainbow Energy, it's Psychic and Grass Energy at the same time. There is no Unit Energy, which has both of these types. So yeah, you have to kind of go for Rainbow. The 10 damage are kind of... Well, they're probably in like weird situations important, especially in the... if, for example, decks which use like Kukui or something like Devoured Field,
yeah.
These kind of matchups, the 10 damage are probably kind of hurtful, but in most situations it should still be fine.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see the Treasure Lens Garbodor in play because it's something that hasn't really been around in the last time, I think. But yeah, Mioslav now needs to adapt his strategy to it and keep in mind to not play that many item cards because, well, this Treasure Lens Garbodor, only its appearance in the deck already forces him to play really careful.
Yeah, and also just in the first turn we actually see the damage from the Rainbow Energy being important. Mioslav turn 1 using Tapu Lele for Bridget, I think, but not playing the Bridget, just going for a really aggressive knockout here with his Guzma and double colors energy card, Energy Drive for 60, but because of the Rainbow Energy it's only 60 HP left. So yeah, quite cool here. Jolien actually gets the Garbodor in play and Sycamore, so no N, which now we can guess that Mioslav probably next turn just plays Bridget and gets some Pokemon into play.
Yeah, I really like that he KO'd the Wimpod with the Rainbow Energy attached to it, because the important part was not KOing the Wimpod, it was getting rid of the Rainbow Energy.
Yeah, with 1 energy less in total, and Jolien actually is just like, well, whatever, Tapu Koko. Next turn you can only deal 80 to my Koko, so I don't care. If my Tapu Koko gets 2 knocked out, this means she can get 2 attacks with it.
Yeah.
And especially if Mioslav now, we see he plays Bridget down, and Jolien knows next turn, unless Mioslav attacks another double colors energy card, which would also be fine, because then she can get 2 energies out of the game at once. Jolien can just use Flying Flip, get 20 on every Pokemon, which means the Zoroark only has 190 HP left, which doesn't... It's not the perfect number. If it would have only 180 HP left, then of course that's a Crossing Cut GX knockout. But right now, not too important. However, the 50 on the Tapu Lele is still fine. Just for next turn, first impression, that's 120. That's the knockout. Mioslav actually not going for any Wimpod. He just tries to set up his Zoroark. In an earlier round, we featured Zoroark Golisopod. And Tord Robin, they both only play 2 Field Blow, but Mioslav actually plays 3, which used to be like the standard to do. And he actually drew the Wimpod from the prize card, I think. And because there was no end played, he has the Wimpod in hand anyways. Let's see if he just puts it down, or if there's something else going on.
Yeah, he's putting it on the bench already with a Grass Energy attached to it, if I see that correctly.
Yeah, he might have not played it down and instead just get a 1 attack with a different Tapu Lele, because Jolien still doesn't have a tool attached to Garbodor, so if his hand isn't really looking that great, he could Ultra Ball 1 attack now before there is a tool, because it might be too late.
Yeah, Mioslav was already putting some damage on his, some dices on his side, preparing for the Flying Flip, but the judge told him to remove the dices again.
Yeah, whatever. So now we see an N, putting Mioslav down. Jolien, these are these interesting situations where you have some information about your opponent's hand. So from 2 turns ago, Mioslav used 1 attack for Bridget, which you wouldn't do if you don't have a supporter card, but then he played Guzma. So Jolien still knows his hand is strong, because during that turn he just grabbed Bridget, which means he can allow himself.
Yeah.
And Mioslav almost drawing 6 from that, and I'm really glad we have a table judge. And yeah, now Jolien's turn continues. If she gets a Grass or Rainbow Energy, she can retreat, take the knockout, or she can just attack with Tapu Koko again.
Yeah, and she's playing a Heavy Ball here. Heavy Ball is really useful in this very deck. It allows you to search your deck for any Pokemon that has 3 retreat costs or more, which are Wimpod, Garbodor, and
Yeah, and Golisopod.
Yeah, Golisopod.
So it's just
of course.
it's just like some decks play Nest Ball, the one of Nest Ball, just to have that extra spice to get a Pokemon out. But here Heavy Ball is quite nice, because you can, like I already said, you can get Wimpod just to have it on the bench, and Garbodor and Golisopod, and maybe something I forgot. But yeah, that's really strong. She also got the Floatstone on Garbodor now, so really good looking field. If Mioslav doesn't have a Field Blower, or just a great hand in general, that's quite nice. Seems like she didn't get a Grass Energy, or there's something else which we didn't take into consideration here, and she just goes for Flying Flip. Now Tapu Lele is on 100 damage, all of the bench Pokemon on 20, except for the opponent's Koko as well, which is also on 40 damage. And now Mioslav needs to show us what he got.
Yeah, and well, we see him looking at his hand. He doesn't look really happy.
And here we see an Enhanced Hammer.
Yeah.
So now he gets punished for she gets punished. English is hard for having the double colorless attached so early. And Miloslav's turns continues. Now he takes a 2-hit knockout. Not really what you want to do, but because of the way Jolien had to attach her energy cards, it didn't really matter that much.
Yeah, and we see Jolien promoting the Garbodor. It has a float zone attached to it, so that's what you want to do, because you can retreat it and it leaves her open a lot of options. And of course, you don't want to start your turn with Golisopod in the active position, because then you don't deal the extra first impression damage.
Yeah, and another N being played.
Jolien now really needs to draw some energy.
Yes, at least something. She can also get the knockout with her own Tapu Lele, And you know, in these Garbodor Garbodor Golisopod decks, you usually play a lot of Acerola,
Yep.
and she plays 3 of them. So attacking just a bit with your Tapu Lele is fine, but we see the grass energy, so first impression for the knockout.
Yeah, and actually Jolien also forced Mioslav into a 7 price game, with him forcing him to KO the Tapu Koko and leaving the Tapu Koko in the active position. Also gave her some time to do her setup. Now it's Miloslav's turn again. He also plays Tapu Koko. It's a card you always play in combination with Golisopod because it has really good synergy, and you play double colorless energies anyway, so some so-called Coco spread damage is always nice.
Yeah, especially with if you also play something like a Kukui. I don't see a Kukui on Miloslav's list, but that can grab you. Like, you deal 150 if you have a choice band and a full bench. That's 170 with a Kukui. Can go to up 190 and 210 if you manage to attack with Tapu Koko, but in a lot of situations it's just sitting there and retreating. That's his goal, just retreat.
And we see another N being played from Mioslav now.
Yeah, he has one Zoroark. I didn't pay attention. I don't know if he already traded, but I don't think he did. So now he can trade after the end. He will put Jolien down to 4.
No, he
hand
can't
cards.
trade.
He can't trade because of the Garbodor.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, so Jolien only down to 4 hand cards now. And it's always kind of painful for the Garbodor decks to get... to get end, how you say. Making a verb out of N is really hard. It sounds kind of wrong no matter what you say it. Like, you can say 2 Acerola or 2 Kukui, but to N sounds really weird. And just Zoroark dealing 100 damage here, putting the Golisopod into it, knockout range. Let's see if she gets an Acerola. She actually has one, so just Wimpod.
It's
But
interesting that she's
unfortunately,
promoted.
oh no, she did a mistake. Because now she can't first impression. Well, she can, but only 30, right?
Yeah, she should have promoted the Garbodor.
Yeah, she told, like, I introduced her to the whole streaming area, and she told me it's the first time, so she's really nervous.
Yeah.
But it's only 30, unfortunately. She knows it. It's just a mistake. Yeah, very unfortunate, especially with the Garbodor in play. But yeah, if you're nervous, it's always a shame. I kind of feel bad for if I put people who do really well on stream and they tell me, I'm kind of nervous here, and then something like this happens. And especially now, a Crossing Cut GX wouldn't take the knockout as well, because she has a Floatstone, so she can put Choice Band in there as well. She can retreat though, and then maybe attack with Tapu Lele, so really crucial here. And make sure to pay attention to your game. I mean, I forgot the Garbodor earlier. I'm not judging anyone. But Miloslav's turn will be judged by me now. He didn't play anything down now, so she should hurry up. No, it looks like he's considering if he wants to play an Ultra Ball.
He goes for Guzmaing the Garbodor, because I think that's something that really annoys him, and that also prevents him from setting up, using his trade abilities, drawing into the cards he needs.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he has a kind of problematic hand. He can deal 100 damage, which is exactly enough. This time. Yeah, now he can trade again. He can also, he plays Golisopod Zoroark, so taking a one-hit knockout on just a non-GX Pokemon isn't so important, because he plays a lot of Guzmas and also for Puzzle of Time. So he would probably be able to grab one prize card at some point. And even if Jolien tries to outplay this strategy, she can't use Acerola anymore if your opponent is on uneven amount of prize cards as good as you could usually.
Yeah.
So now she got another Golisopod. If she gets a grass energy, she can retreat, then first impression. This time, yeah, kind of unfortunate now.
She's playing 3 grass energies and 3 rainbow energies. 2 grass energies and 1 rainbow energy are already in the discard pile, if I recall that correctly. So let's see if she drew one.
Yeah,
I can already
she would
her
need
hand.
she would need a double colors energy card, and then she has a choice between energy drive or armor press. With armor press, the Golisopod would get less damage, but it would probably.
She could also retreat and then do first impression with the second Golisopod.
Yeah, but this is if she gets the grass energy. But she actually goes for armor press now. This turn, 20 less damage. But Mioslav can use trade again. He can also use Wonder Tag for supporter card. He did have an Ultra Ball, which he was thinking about playing earlier, but he decided not to. So now he can also get a.
Tapulele?
Exactly. He just uses trade, finally being able to use the ability again. Acerola, making the whole ear thing even more painful. Yeah, he can evolve the benched one, now use trade again, even though there's only 1 Zoroark in play. Yeah, let's see what he discards. He can't play supporter anymore, so that should be it for the time being. He can also use first impression if he wants to. For that he would need to get another. He would need to get his Golisopod, so either Evo Soda, which he does have, so he can either grab another Zoroark or a Golisopod, but in this situation it's not too big of a difference if you take the Turret knockout with Zoroark or with Golisopod. He probably wants to have another basic Pokemon in play too, because now he only deals 80 damage. So even if she armor presses again, he could only deal 100 at maximum, so he would definitely need a tool. But he has a DC double color energy card in hand anyway, so he can definitely attack with Zoroark. And now he uses his third trait for this turn. Let's see what he. Oh, an Enhanced Hammer. Does he play 2 Enhanced Hammer? Yeah, he does play 2.
Oh, yes.
So.
Yeah, he's benching another Wimpod, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, so now he can use Zoroark's attack for 100 damage, so getting a better turret knockout. Does it actually matter? Well, he would have dealt 80 first, then 100. Oh yeah, I think the basic Pokemon doesn't really matter that much.
Looks like he is
because
attached into the Golisopod.
Yeah, for the turret knockout, he needs the choice band anyways. So if he deals 80 now and then 130.
He deals less damage now because of Feral City.
Yes.
Interesting.
So he deals minus 40. We could see an armor press for 60.
Or first impression for
or
80.
first impression for 80.
Or Crossing Cut GX for 110.
And he goes for a Crossing Cut now, 100 damage next turn with the. Oh, that's too much.
That's too much.
I will ask. See you in a
Okay.
bit.
Our power judge David is going to solve the problem or the little issue. Yeah, it's Julien's turn again. Her bench is now limited to 3 Pokemon, so let's see if she decides to leave her options open. And we see the issue being resolved. Yeah, David is heading back to her Kazu place again, and here he is.
Good morning. Oh yeah, I have to run all day. So 110 damage now on the Golisopod, but it's still fine because, like I said, now there's 110 there, which means 100 damage next turn. Even if she uses armor press again, it's still enough. So yeah, putting work in with the crossing cut. Of course, crossing cut always can snag like a Tapu Lele on the bench. You just need a choice band, deal 180. But in these kind of situations, Jolien now needs a lot of hand cards to make her turn good. Like if she armor press, she can take a knockout on Tapu Koko, but then she still has 3 prize cards. If Mioslav is able to evolve all of his Pokemon, he doesn't really need non-EX Pokemon anymore.
Yep.
So
I think he isn't even playing non-EX or GX. Oh, he's playing Oranguru.
Yeah, and he plays all of his basic but yeah, you know, like you get the idea. But Jolien just goes for a first impression. It seems, especially like the enhanced hammer were really painful in this game. 2 of them, and then I think Mioslav didn't play any puzzle yet. And these are still an option. Jolien has no Garbodor in play. Troubles are all, like one of them is in the discard pile from earlier. But even if she puts down a second one, then Mioslav knows he can just play Guzma.
I think
take
there's
knockout
a
on the other one.
Trubbish price, isn't it?
Oh yes.
The very
right
right
you're
price.
Right, you're right. It's kind of hard to see though, but
she's playing. Oh yeah, she's only playing 3 Trubbish. So 2 are already in discard pile and 1 is priced. So it should also be the very last price she's drawing. So we will probably not see another Garbodor in this matchup.
Yeah, so for Mioslav, if he doesn't play Guzma now, then Jolien can Acerola next turn. Because now of the second Wimpod in play. So Mioslav did attach the double Chaos Energy card to a Zoroark. And it deals 100 damage now as well, even without a second bench Pokemon. So let's see if he gets the Guzma or puzzle. He discards Max Potion for trade. And he has a Guzma. So he can either take out the Golisopod or the Wimpod. It doesn't really matter that much. Both of them prevent the Acerola play next turn. Of course, this way, the Floatstone is still on the bench Golisopod, so Jolien can just put it active. I'm not entirely sure which tool is attached to the Tapu Lele. I think I missed it. So it might be a Floatstone as well. Yeah, but this way also Mioslav now draws more cards with N.
Oh, there's a Trubbish. It was in her hand apparently.
So she does put down the Trubbish now, and again now the whole 1 prize card thing doesn't matter anymore anyways, because if the active Golisopod gets knocked out, that's game over right there. So Jolien can use Acerola in theory to get rid of the damage. I don't think she plays any Max Potion.
She plays 3 Acerola but no Max Potion.
Okay, yeah, so that's no way for her. She just retreats, first impression for 120, and yeah.
Yeah, Guzma would be game now.
Yeah, let's see. Does he have double puzzle? Mioslav nuts. He wrote 2017 and for the day just 7. So he said he was very tired. So I believe her. Yeah, let's see. Does he have double puzzle? No, he has the 1 attack, so either way he will get the Guzma.
Yeah, Guzma,
that's it.
and that's game 1.
So you see, it didn't really matter anyways if he takes the Wimpod or the Golisopod out. But taking out the Wimpod first also would have ensured, like taking out the Wimpod first would ensure that it doesn't evolve, so he can always just take in 1 prize card. So yeah, a lot of possibilities. Again, always so many possibilities which can work. Pokemon is too complicated for me. this is why I'm not playing. This is why I'm sitting here.
The whole day. But at least you can stop people from playing ends really fast.
At least I can still do simple math. That's the only thing I do, and this is why I only I can only watch is the damage correct? Is everything working properly? Oh man.
Yeah, and let's see. Both players are setting up, and yeah, looks like Mioslav is cutting Jolien's deck, and well, how would you like to start in this kind of matchup?
Well, for both players, starting with Wimpods, it's usually
or Tapu Koko.
Yeah, I mean, Wimpod has free retreat in the first turn, so you can always retreat it into something else. Yeah, so I don't really care. I don't want to start with Tapu Lele though.
Yeah.
That's sure.
Jolien is going first. She's starting with Wimpod. Wimpod has the ability that during your first turn it has no retreat cost, so she can retreat it very easily. I'm not so sure if that's what she wants to do. Well, with the Floodstone on Trubbish, maybe she wants to.
So Wonder Tag. Maybe she gets a Bridget again,
Yep.
so she can put Tapu Koko in play.
She goes for Cynthia.
Then retreat for Tapu Koko, but it's a Cynthia, so her hand is probably not that great. Like we already said earlier, you can only, in this kind of deck especially, you can only really use Tapu Lele for Bridget if you also have another supporter card in your hand.
Yeah.
It's different for Mioslav, for example, because if he also has Zoroark and Zoroark in his hand, then he knows, well, I can just evolve next turn and trade, so that should be fine. Jolien can not do this, so she is forced to play Cynthia.
Yeah, Jolien is really a lot more depending on her supporters and what cards she's drawing. Whereas Miloslav's deck is, built around using trade abilities, and that's why Garbotoxin is hurting him.
Yeah, so this is an Ultra Ball, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she goes
Tapu
for Tapu
Koko.
Koko, so she can still do what I said earlier, that she can just now retreat into Tapu Koko, has something with retreat active, and then can decide next turn. But her first turn is looking really good, unless Mioslav again gets a sneaky Guzma Double Colors energy card in his opening hand. That would be so crushing, like if the same thing happened again. But this time it's even more hurtful because, there is no other Wimpod in play. Mioslav does just benched Zorua, which he would not like to bench if he has Guzma Double Colors in his hand, so that's telling that he doesn't. Maybe, he's
Cynthia.
just a Cynthia, so not even a Bridget. This game is looking very different right from the start.
Yep.
Not so aggressive from Mioslav. And let's just see what he gets with the Cynthia.
Yeah, I don't know how it is for you, David, but for me, this Cynthia feels very weird because for a very long time, Ends have been the only shuffle draw support, and if you see your opponent shuffling his hand into your deck, you automatically feel like you should do that too.
Well, I played a League Cup last weekend, and my opponent played Cynthia, shuffled his hand into his deck, and drew 6, but he had 5 prize cards. I was like, you only have 5 prize cards, and he looked at me like I'm a retard, and it's like, I play Cynthia, and I said, yes, you did. But here we see an Ultra Ball. He's discarding a Zoroark, so maybe he was considering not to do it. Depending on his hand, he would either take a Zorua to draw a lot of cards next turn, but that's kind of a risk because if he doesn't have a Field Blower, he knows next turn probably there is a Garbodor coming, and because he knows there is a Garbodor coming, he actually grabs Tapu Lele for another
Bridget.
supporter. This time a Bridget. This is almost the same, like last first game, right?
Yeah.
He played a supporter, then one attack for Bridget just to put it in his hand. But he had to discard the Zoroark there. Kind of painful, but not so painful considering the Garbodor is potentially coming next turn anyways.
Yeah, I mean, he has 4 puzzle of time, so he has ways to recycle his cards.
Yeah, and even you almost never use 4 Zoroark. I really recommend playing 4 Zoroark in your deck because if one is prized, then you still have 3. And you just draw into them like at random. That's always great to just have it in your hand, put it down. This is why you see Tord always, it's just like, Zoroark from my hand, evolve, trade, man. It's not so likely. This is how he talks, if you didn't know. So you can use a trade straight away. And Jolien here going for Garbodor. She evolved Golisopod and Garbodor. So first impression for 120 is potentially coming
Yeah.
this turn as well.
First
In
impression
theory-
incoming.
Yeah, in theory she could also armor press. I don't think that would make too much sense because that would just actually make Tapu Lele deal more damage, because for a double colorless energy card that would be like 20 extra.
Yep.
And it's kind of unlikely that Mioslav attacks with his Zoroark now. But let's see how well his hand is looking.
Well,
We
there's the
see-
Bridget.
Yes, now we see the Bridget he just took earlier. Again, 3 Zorua, a Pokemon which I don't like to pronounce, and a Wimpod. Why can't all Pokemon be called like Wimpod or
But
Pikachu?
Zoroark is.
Zorua. Yeah, he cannot trade unfortunately, but if he has a Field Blower, he just passed his turn. So for Jolien now, this is looking a lot better.
Yep.
Also because she attached the Choice Band, she can deal 60 now. Even with 30, it would be enough to take the knockout on Tapu Lele with first impression, even though the Golisopod did not come from the bench. I think Jolien only really wants to have a Wimpod in play, I think.
Yes.
That would be great. And maybe an energy card. If it's a special energy, I would also consider not to play it. It's like if you play, for example, if you play a deck with a lot of special energy cards, or where the special energies are important, and you don't need it to attack in the same turn, against Golisopod Garbodor, which usually play 1 or 2 Enhanced Hammer, even. You don't really want to use it. Mioslav really fast, I can't keep up. He just played Guzma, knockout on Garbodor,
Yep.
so now he can trade again, because Jolien, she didn't have another Trubbish last turn. She didn't even play a supporter as well. Maybe she
She
expected
did nothing at all. Just
Yeah, she just took the knockout.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't expect, maybe she had an N and expected the opponent to, maybe his hand is really bad. But Mioslav was like, my hand's not bad, I have a Guzma, I want to knock out next turn. It's all good. It's all good, man. But now we see an Ultra Ball. She does get the Trubbish. She's not afraid of the Golisopod getting knocked out.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
she can first impression for a lot of damage. And this is the perfect twit knockout if the opponent doesn't have a Field Blower. You deal. How much do you deal? 150 and then 60 next turn. So against Zoroark, that's 120 perfectly. And this is why Choice Band is especially important to get early.
He just traded away a puzzle of time, but it looks like it paid off.
Oof. Yikes.
Ooh. And the Acerola.
Yeah, so not a perfect twit knockout like I was talking about.
Oh, he's
So-
playing really fast now.
Yeah, he knows in these, like, this format is made for ties. You
Yeah.
tie so often. He doesn't want to. If he ties now, it's like he is.
It's
like
a
he
tie
lost.
or die, like I
Yes.
mentioned earlier.
It's basically, it's kind of like a win and in, but if you tie, it's the same as a loss. So we had the same situation at like Worlds at day 1. It's always at some point at the tournament, a tie is just 100% the same as a loss. So in like
Yeah.
top 32 of a regional championship, of course, because of the money and the championship point differences, you want to tie just to get a bit more points. But yeah, now it's kind of just only top 8 or not.
Yep, true.
Mioslav getting a really good board position now with 2 Zoroark in play. Jolien needs a lot to make this turn
does.
worthwhile. Another Wimpod, a Garbodor, a Tool. The Tool is already being played out
Oh,
as well as
and
the
the
Garbodor.
Garbodor.
The Grass Energy would also be nice.
Acerola would also be
Yeah,
very good.
Acerola would be fine, I think.
Unfortunately, she's not playing Max Potion. Max Potion would come in really handy right now.
Yeah, Max Potion is kind of a weird card. I was thinking about that earlier as well, but I think in Garbodor, it's really hard to make use of your Max Potion because it's so random to draw. In a Zoroark deck, you can trade a lot, so it's
Yeah.
more likely to draw into
We see
it.
Acerola.
But does she have a double colors energy card to attack, or does she just promote something and let it be knocked out?
It does not look
Oh.
like she has a double colors energy.
So now probably she just puts Coco active?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, let's just wait. Of course, the Garbodor, she doesn't want to get it knocked out. It takes a lot of effort to put it in play. She could also put Lele active and then maybe play Acerola as well, which we see kind of not really a gamble. She probably knows now. After the first game, Mioslav doesn't play Kukui, but with the Kukui, he could in theory get the knockout here. This is one of the reasons why some players play one Kukui in their Zoroark decks. He does have one of his 3 field blowers, so now he's able to trade again. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I would call him a Pokemon trader.
Ooh.
Who plays a Pokemon trading card game. Yeah, this joke I actually stole from her. She did it earlier, but I like it.
He's playing the trading card game.
I like bad puns. Yeah, aggress energy. I'm just having fun.
Benji was just shaking his head.
150 damage now with the Zoroark. But he goes for a Guzma, and now he can take the knockout on Garbodor. So this is a lot better than just doing some damage on a random Tapu Lele. 150 on the Tapu Lele is still fine, because it opens you the possibility to use Tapu Koko later to deal 20 on everything, take a knockout as well. And then also if your opponent has like 2 Lele in play, that's even better. But yeah, Guzma puts it active, attacks grass energy, I hope. Yes. And first impression for the knockout. And Jolien again, kind of a weird position she's in. I don't really think she has a good way of winning this. Mioslav has a really great board position.
And he's playing really well.
Yeah, he also has 2, I think he already used 1 Enhanced Hammer, but because of his double puzzles, he still in theory has 6 left. So
he traded 1 puzzle away.
True, yeah, so 5 left. And this is quite nice, because if you put like 1 puzzle in your discard pile earlier, if you draw well, you can play the first 2 puzzles for 1 puzzle and the card you want, and then afterwards you can play 2 puzzles again. But this doesn't work if you already discarded 2 of them.
Yep.
On PTGO, this is like quite funny. You cannot play 2 double puzzles for 2 double puzzles twice. You can only do it once, but after that you cannot do it once more. So you don't like stall until your opponent concedes, because you're legally allowed to do it. So if you're like did a thinking mistake and you're like, yeah, I really want to play 2 puzzles there, and then you realize, oh, I actually don't want anything from a discard pile, you can grab the other 2. But yeah, of course you can't do it again then to stall time.
Okay.
Jolene's turns again. She gets another Wimpod, a grass energy, so quite a nice match setup, and 150 damage from first impression.
That's a lot. Now it's Miloslav's turn again. He's down to 4 prices, Jolien as well, so at the moment they are even in prices. We can also see that Mioslav has a Mew EX price. It's a really good price in this matchup because you actually don't want to use it.
Yeah, this is also quite interesting. There are certain cards that you want to have priced.
Yep.
Either just so you draw them after you take a knockout. So for example, a supporter in the prize card, sometimes quite good because you don't have any, if you know, for example, you have 2 supporter in your prize cards, then you might play a bit risky if you have like 3 prize cards left. You know, there's a quite good chance you will draw the supporter there. And this is also what makes just drawing your prize card more important. We see double puzzle of time. He already decided for an Acerola. Now he can either get the Enhanced Hammer to prevent the opponent's Golisopod from using Armor Press next turn.
He's going for Guzma.
Yes. He could have also taken another puzzle of time.
To have an even amount of puzzles. That's what we are seeing. He's taken another puzzle to have an even amount of puzzles in his deck again.
I think at the moment it's quite difficult for him to decide which way he wants to do it. Guzma is like his key to winning. He can just snag some Pokemon, especially the Tapu Koko is still in play, so if he knocks out the Wimpods, it's worth it for him. He can even take, he might take a knockout with Zoroark as well. So he just needs to make sure. I think if he plays well, he can win this game. But if he does a mistake, then he can still lose. So now we don't see Mioslav. We just see
Mioslav.
The thinking one, who tries to not make a mistake because he's really tired. He did put the grass energy and the Wimpod just down again. I don't know how many trades he did. Oh, nice. He plays. This is, I think, the best way to play Paracity in this situation. He gets rid of two of his Tapu Lele, which can be knocked out by crossing card GX for one-hit knockout, which would be kind of risky to have them stick. And also the other side makes Golisopod deal less damage, like we already saw earlier.
Yeah.
And now Jolien even struggles with a two-hit knockout, so she would need to use Armor Press twice.
Which is nothing you really want to do.
Yeah, let's see how she plays this. She also has the second Golisopod. And she has 4 prize cards, so she probably just needs to take knockout on 2 GX. But Mioslav, he plays 2 Acerola and 1 Max Potion, I think. So just taking a lot of 2-hit knockouts is not the way to go. And now Jolien with her Acerola doing the same. It's just like, yeah, 2-hit knockouts for days.
For days.
Yeah, this is 2-hit knock. Like, there are some formats which come down to like 1-hit knockouts a lot.
Yep.
And this is 130 damage, exactly, yeah. So minus 20 plus 30. 3 people not being entirely... Yeah, we're all tired. I'm also really tired.
Yeah,
if you
me
can tell.
too.
This is why I'm just saying nonsense all the time.
But the good thing is we can calculate this loudly.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's great. And we can tell each other if there is a Garbodor in play.
Or Paracity.
Yeah, Mioslav drew into a Tapu Koko. He didn't put the Golisopod down.
No.
If there is. He's thinking, what is he thinking about? Probably another Acerola would be great.
But before the Acerola, she should really evolve. Yeah, he evolves into Golisopod. He cannot put the Tapu Koko down because of the Paracity.
Yeah.
But
Fiedler for his own Paracity, it seems like. Or not.
Or maybe.
Maybe not. Oh, maybe not. Was ist doch auf Englisch?
There's no word for it.
There is a German word which I wanted to use, but apparently it doesn't exist.
It's like you have like no, yes, but this yes, there's like a special German word you only use if someone says no and you disagree.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the choice between either taking the Floatstone on the bench or the Choice Band on the active. Jolien plays 4 Choice Bands actually. But taking the one from the active prevents this like double knockout with 60 and then 150, which is with a perfect number against Zoroark. Mioslav now has the choice between either dealing 60 with a Zoroark, potentially more. He has a Zorua in his hand from the Acerola earlier.
Looks like he's going for.
He has a lot of possibilities now. He can use Armor Press. He can use Crossing. I don't know why you would use Crossing Cut, but he can in theory use it. And he can use the Armor Press.
Or Righteous Beating.
Or Righteous Beating, yes.
He could also use Flying Flip.
Yeah,
in theory.
No, not Flying Flip. Not today. And he gets 130 damage now with the Choice Band. So still a 2-hit knockout. Now, do we see another Acerola for Jolien? It's like, it comes to like kind of this war of who gets more stuff. But the Zoroark deck always has the upper hand in this because of time and trade.
Yep.
So this is why Jolien probably won't have it, but we just have to see what comes down now. She has a Choice Band in her hand. She can either attach it to the active to deal the 60 for the 2-hit knockout later, or if she attaches it on the bench.
Yeah, Mioslav also plays Oranguru, so he would also have even more options to do better resource management.
Yeah, great. The Oranguru is quite popular, especially I think in Europe we had Leipzig, which was like the explosion of mill decks out of all a sudden. There were so many mill decks. And Oranguru just makes you win against it. But this is not the reason why you play Oranguru. Just have to like one counter card against one deck, which isn't really that good as well. Doesn't make too much sense, but in like mirror match situations or these kind of matchups where you're just like, yeah, if I have just more puzzle of time than my opponent, I win. Then you can use Oranguru.
Yep.
Get your puzzles back and get your opponents out of resources.
Maybe also energies. Enhanced hammers.
Yeah, enhanced hammer also, especially. I think she plays 3 grass only.
Yeah.
Only 3 grass, so 7 special energy in the deck. If they're all gone, then it's still hard. And this time we see crossing card GX and promoting Tapu Koko.
Yeah, it's just really good in those kind of decks because it has no retreat cost. And yeah, of course you have the same effect if you play Floatstone, but Floatstone can, feel blow it away.
Mioslav just traded twice. What a tongue twister. Plays Ultra Ball potentially for another Zoroark. Ah, that's a secret rare Zoroark. You can use trade once more, and I think he really wants to have a Guzma to take the knockout on the big benched Golisopod. We would just laugh at our own jokes all day.
Yeah, let's see if he can KO the big benched Golisopod.
It seems like he got a Bridget and a Guzma as well, so...
Maybe it's also the big benched bug.
Yeah, big benched bug. 120 damage for the knockout. Only 2 prize cards left. And she didn't use his GX attack yet. So if he gets another Guzma, double colorless, choice band, 3-card combo, that's the knockout. We know he has 2 puzzle of time left because he took like the mono puzzle earlier. So there's a quite a good chance, especially if Jolien doesn't play end this turn, which she didn't. So she just goes for it. And now, does he have it or not? He counts his deck to see if he can just trade a few times to win. In theory, you can use like an Ultra Ball or something to thin out, or Tapu Lele, but he doesn't.
He's trading away a Bridget, and he also discarded a Bridget earlier for an Ultra Ball. Quite interesting to see that he still has that many Bridgets in this state of the game.
Yeah, and he has double colorless, he has a choice band, does he have a Guzma? 2 cards.
Digging for it.
Did he get it?
I don't know.
Yeah, he has double puzzle.
He has double puzzle.
Yeah, so now taking the puzzle earlier, he just has to put it down. Guzma, knockout, armor, crossing cut GX, knockout. That's it. Mioslav almost tying with only 3 minutes left on the timer.
Yeah.
Wins 2-0.
And that was a really close series. Unfortunately, we didn't see a girl winning on stream again. That's what I would have wished, but yeah.
Not yet. Maybe later. I think she's out now. Rosa's still in, so for the top cut.
Yeah, Rosa is currently playing at table 1.
We can see table 1 is over there. We see Tord, Rosa, also like we almost had almost everyone we had on stream already. I will ask Mioslav if he wants to do an interview, and then we can talk with him. So see you in a bit.
Don't go anywhere.